Sit back, relax, put your belt on, and enjoy the show.
Varroa. So this is now the start of the second half of their rotation. So all teams have played each other once. We're back to their round one. So Crusaders versus the Highlanders is the first game here. Returning, we are expecting Jonah Nareki to make his return from his hip pointer injury.
You mean the whole Highlanders are returning? He's won them games single-handedly. That's their whole team.
One game, yeah. The only game they won, I guess. But
yeah,
he was obviously expected or given every chance to play last week and didn't quite make the return, so he'll be sweet. George Bridge from his pec repair as well, massive in for the Crusaders, who just lack class in the back line, obviously.
They were saying that he could have been right to play that match, I think against the Blues before their bye, but they gave him that extra little bit of time, and he had a internal trial against the Crusaders under 20s, so he's coming off a little bit of game time to build up that fitness as well.
And Liam Squire, as you said, gone for the season.
Yep.
Right. Last time they played, the Crusaders got up 26-13. I actually thought the Highlanders played quite well. This is technically first versus fifth in Super Rugby Aotearoa, although I don't know how much you can read into that.
Oh, look, I mean, Crusaders has just been a class above Highlanders. There's just been moments of skill and excitement, but I don't think we've seen an all-round game from them. Well, what are they going to have to do here? Do you think the Highlanders actually have a bit of a crack at this one, Mitch?
Yeah, I think Nareki is their point of difference. Like, that's the sort of fight fire with fire. Like, those Crusaders' wings have just been able to take the ball and beat defenders, make line breaks at will. And Nareki can do that as well. I think they're going to need to settle, as we were talking about before, they need to settle on Ioane or Hunt as that 10 and have another outside back there. And I need them to drop Hugh Renton and just not have him near the squad, because they've got a great back row. And I think now with Himeno coming through and looking really good, you just stick with that same starting group. You can have Frizzell and Michaeli Tu'u, and there's Himeno at number 20. You're pretty set. Happy with either Lynchies or Harmon at 7 if they're both available. But the problem is the Crusaders don't have a weak point. It's not going to be through the scrums or lineouts that they can win this. So they're going to just need to rely on a bit of, I think, backline magic. So I'd be chucking in Umunga Jensen at 12. I'll be chucking in, as many players as possible, that X factor, just on the chance that you can beat a few defenders.
Do you really think Michaeli Tu'u's locked in at the number 8 jersey? I know he hasn't had it all his own way this season, but I don't think he's had the impact he did last year. And with how good Himeno was, I mean, he's very physical. He works hard. I think a lot harder in defence than Michaeli Tu'u as well. So maybe he's an answer for them in this match.
Can I just ask, Nelson, whose fantasy team is Himeno in our league?
He's in my team.
Well, Nelson, Tu'u's in my team, so that's why I've been backing him.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to go your
I would actually say I think Himeno is a shot at starting this week. I think Tu'u's been a little bit underdone this year. I expected massive things from him, but he has been a bit quiet.
Yep.
And I heard that Clark Dermody, the assistant coach for the Highlanders, saying that Himeno was 100%, quote, in the running to start against the Crusaders. So we'll have to watch that space.
Yep, hopefully he starts. Obviously, if we've got Nareki coming back, Vahakolo should be dropped. I don't think we'll see him in the 23 at all, to be fair. I know he's had a big Mitre 10, campaign last year, but I just don't think he offers enough from the bench. Can't cover numerous positions, things like that as well. I think Mitch Hunt should be on the bench.
I've got a note here: Parry Parkinson, Bryn Evans, or Josh Dixon. Who makes up the locks? Surely that's a gimme, isn't it? You just drop Bryn Evans.
Yeah, surely you do. But I mean, it was good to be able to have Dixon coming off the bench last week. They've brought Parry straight back into that starting jersey. I think your first choice is Parry and Dixon. But they gave Evans that crack, and I think he wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and finally, Aiden Johnson could come in to start again. Now his second game back for Ethan de Groot. But what about the Crusaders, Mitch? You're wearing the red, so the Crusaders red. It's not the Queensland red, I'm sure.
The Crusaders, second team just because they're also red. Not a bad team to support. Crusaders, they're just perfect, aren't they? Like, what more could you want from them? I keep looking for weaknesses every time I look at their team. They can have 3 injuries and it's still a really world-class looking team. Just people can fill in. So if you've got George Bridge coming back, who, is at times the best, left wing playing rugby, it's pretty bloody handy. I probably think Crusaders are looking to, bounce back from the bye. They don't like having time off from the game, and they probably want to be asserting that dominance, just making sure that, the teams know just because we're in pole position and the Blues have dropped off a game. We're probably trying to look this, 8 from 8.
You're probably right. Most teams bounce back from a loss. The Crusaders' closest thing to a loss is a bye. So for them, they're like, we haven't won in like 2 weeks.
They've also, do you think we get a chance? My thought is Bridge goes to the bench. But I mean, there's a lot of puzzle pieces to move around.
It's not that many, mate. You flick Fainga'anuku, it's George Bridge.
Straight in.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what I was about to say, though. They've had 2 weeks to train this squad. So they could have gone 2 weeks of training, him as their first choice winger.
Yeah.
That's legitimately what we could see. I hope so. He's in my fantasy side too. So
Mine too. So drop Reece, get Severin Reece out of here, and
No. Hold on. He's in my team. You can't drop Severin Reece.
You drop Fainga'anuku.
Severin Reece is the game broker. They just need to give him the ball. For whatever reason, the Crusaders have been attacking the left edge constantly and giving the ball to Fainga'anuku. Get the ball to Severin Reece. The bloke is a magician.
Oh, love it. So we're all just going for whoever's in our fantasy teams.
Yeah, basically.
All right,
nice, that's how we do it. It's right.
Yeah, love it.
The other thing is you've got Manasseh Mataele around, and he coming back any time. I think he's pretty much good to go. But I just don't see how he fits in.
No, he doesn't.
He just seriously doesn't. The Tars will have him. We'll just give him to us.
Anything else for the Crusaders, Mitch?
Well, just that last point there, that Mataele is their 5th choice wing, or maybe even lower, and Newsom is the Tars' first choice. So it's an absolute shocker that
and second choice captain.
Yeah, I think that's the more concerning bit. But no, look, I think Highlanders could have a game of their lives. Crusaders could be a little rusty, and they'd still win by 10. So it's going to be really tough. I'd be thinking Crusaders are looking pretty dominant here, maybe a 15 to 20 point win.
Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty big. I think there's been no one, or no access for this Highlanders to close out a game or win a tight one or, anything like that. So they'll score some points, but I still think they're going to lose by 25.
Well, the line, 17.5 points, so Mitch has gone right in the middle. I think he's pretty accurate, actually. I'm going to say 17 points.